Hey everyone, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your company on Freshbooks. So this is going to be particularly useful for people who have just signed up with Freshbooks. So make sure to stick around just because this is going to be a short, simple, and sweet tutorial. And by the end of it, you'll know how to actually set up your company with Freshbooks. Now, what we're going to do first is go onto our Freshbooks account, which looks like this right here. Now, when you're on this page here, okay, I'm not going through what each of these tabs mean. What I'm actually going to do is just go ahead and explain how to set up your company on FreshBooks. So the first thing that I did was actually add clients. So I assume or hope that you're coming from some sort of existing accounting software, or maybe you at least have a list of all the clients who you've worked with or communicated with. So go ahead and click on clients and then click on more actions. And then you want to click on this import clients button. So you have to import a CSV file to add your clients to FreshBooks. You don't want to be starting from ground zero, right? If you've already been in business for a couple of years now, you're bound to have some clients. So just make sure you actually add your clients using this import clients feature. So on this FreshBooks account, you'll see that I added some dummy or mock example clients. And so you could add their address, phone number, first name, last name, email, all the information so that it's stored onto FreshBooks. Now, as far as setting up other things related to your business on FreshBooks, the other thing I would set up is payments. So if you go ahead and click on payments, you want to be able to accept payments somehow through FreshBooks. And one way to do that is by clicking on this payments tab and then next clicking on more actions and then clicking on accept online payments. So on FreshBooks, there are two main ways that you could accept online payments. The first one is through FreshBook Payments, which is technically powered by Stripe. So if you have a Stripe account, you just need to go ahead and connect it by clicking on this button here. It should take about 10 to 20 minutes with existing Stripe accounts to connect with FreshBook Payments. If you don't have a Stripe account just yet, it might take you a bit longer. You'll have to explore that yourself. I already had an existing Stripe account, so it was very easy for me to actually set up my Stripe with FreshBooks Payments. But if you don't have a Stripe account, what you could use instead is actually PayPal. So I assume hopefully that you have either a PayPal or Stripe account. Both are really easy to connect and set up, but one does need to be connected and set up so that you can start accepting credit card payments, for example. So with that being said, I would actually personally prefer Stripe just because they also allow ACH bank transfers, whereas PayPal, I believe, doesn't, but you'll have to check it out and explore with it yourself. But setting up payments is the second thing that I would do. Now, the next thing I would do is set up payroll. And this is optional. It's not mandatory that you set up payroll through FreshBooks. Me personally, I do use my payroll through Gusto, but you can use payroll on FreshBooks. So here is FreshBooks payroll, which is technically powered by Gusto. So you would just click on get started so that you could actually set up payroll for your team. In my case, I just simply set up payroll for myself since I'm a one-man business. But even so, it's important to know that you are able to actually set up payroll using FreshBooks. Now, the next thing you want to do is actually invite team members. So if you have other team members working within your business, you just want to click on this team members tab on the left-hand side, click on add team member, enter their first and last name and email. And then from that, you could actually go ahead and kind of adjust the roles that you want related to your FreshBooks account. So here we have a mock name called John Doe. And so with John Doe, you can actually set the permissions in which if you want John Doe to be your accountant, let's say you want them to actually start keeping your books in check on FreshBooks, you just click on invite. And so you can select the role here for John Doe. You can give them admin access, manager access, employee, contractor, and accountant. So all these different roles can be selected for John Doe. And each time you toggle a different role, on the right-hand side, it shows you what that role's permissions are. So an accountant has different roles, as you can see here. An employee has different roles, as you can see here. So setting up your team member and actually setting up what specific roles they have would be the next thing I do on FreshBooks. Afterwards, go ahead and click on items and services. And then on items and services, this is where you're going to be able to create either an item or a service. So on the upper right-hand side, you're going to click on create new. And you can either click on item or service. So with that, you can see that on my example FreshBooks account here, for items, I have rocks, and then it's 10 euros. And under services, I have video editing, it's billable, it's sales, and it's also 10 euros. So if you want to add an item or service, just click on the upper right-hand corner. Let's go ahead and add an item. And then here, let's say we'll add flowers for another €5 and then click on save. So now you'll see that flowers and rocks have been added and you can see how much they cost, which is 5 or 10 euros. So now you would want to add your items and services that your business has to offer on this page here. Next, you want to connect your bank just because you do want to be able to kind of reconcile your books when it comes to your business bank. So setting up your bank connection on FreshBooks is really easy. You just click on bank connections on the left hand side and then you see all these different options. Choose your bank to get started. So once you click on one of these banks, you'll just have to log in and follow the prompts and then select which banks you want connected to this FreshBooks account. So for my example, I have Bank of America. And so once I clicked on Bank of America, I would just simply log on and then connect my business checkings accounts to FreshBooks. So make sure you set up your bank connection. And then afterwards, we're going to go ahead and click on settings. And then next, what you're going to do is click on tax and financial information. So on here, you want to make sure that you set your currency correct. And you also want to make sure that you set your fiscal year end month and fiscal year end day. And then if you go back, next you want to click on brand appearance. So I would just recommend at least dropping your logo here so that you don't always have to add a logo anytime that you send an invoice, estimate, or proposal. So simply just drag and drop your logo here. And that's pretty much it. So that is how to set up your company on FreshBooks, okay? This is the easiest and best way I've been able to find it. But if you know of a better or easier way to actually set up your company on FreshBooks, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.